marketing books out there, but like I wanted to make something short or compact, which has everything. Like people don't need to read much; they can just read the steps and do everything. So I wrote a book too, which have everything, like from hashtags to how you make a profile, so what you should have.
Hey guys, welcome to the UpNext podcast, where we are interviewing teen entrepreneurs that are making it big time in the startup world. We are asking the questions we know you want to hear. UpNext is an app made for teens where anyone can join or build a real life startup.
I'm author too. I wrote my own book. It's complete. A complete growth hack for Instagram. Like uh, there are a lot of marketing books out there, but like I wanted to make something short or compact. Which has everything. Like people don't need to read much; they can just read the steps and do everything. So I wrote a book too, which have everything, like from hashtags to how you make a profile, so what you should have and what tools you should have, like everything else.
How did you find yourself creating such a business? What sparked the idea?
Be honest, like how everything started was like I wanted to build something which was a business or something which was helping others. In the end, like I was starting my own Instagram account and I wanted to grow myself, and that's why there are automation tool before also, like there are few like Javi, but the thing is they are offline based. Like you need to keep a computer up and running 24/7 to use them, and I was using them. So I was like, it's harder like to always have your PC working. So like I want to build something which is like completely web based. So that's what, then afterwards I started learning little bit advanced programming. Then I started building it, and soon I made Instaeasy. Like for in the start, it was just for me and my friends to grow the Instagram account. But then it was like I made some connections before, like because, and they also were interested in using it. They started using it and they started paying for it. And then I was like, yeah, I can grow it into a business. I wanted something which can change my life and something which can change others' life too. Like it was like from my start, my goal was to like provide it as cheap as possible for the small businesses. So like with Instaeasy, normally people get around 200 profile visitors a day, minimum. And so like for a month it's 6,000. And if like if we do some like Facebook ads, and if we have 6,000 clicks, it's gonna cost us a lot. And once like Instaeasy costs like 19, in the start it was like just $10. So like 10,000 and 6,000 clicks, like the cost per click would be really less. So like people started growing their businesses and they wanted to pay more. And it started happening. And I used to see these entrepreneurs or teenage entrepreneurs on the internet. I was like, can I ever reach that platform, like to the level of success they have? And I was like, yeah, let's find it out, like if I can do it or not. Like I was trying a lot of things. I tried building a lot of apps. But like the thing I learned was the things I used to do before was especially intended to to become something which makes me money, and which becomes something big. But like later I decided like you need to build something which serves others. Then only you can build something big, and that's how you earn, by serving others.
Who do you consider your first mentor? What did they help you go through?
Like from my childhood, I wasn't that social in like I belong from a small village. And due to I was only like kid in that area who used to go to a good school. And because of that people started excluding me from from their groups. And like until I was in second grade, I shifted to inner city, and before that in my village I never even went out of my house in the evenings. And so like in the like once I came Pune, like then it was like, yeah, I'm from village and it's a city school. They also just started treating me like I don't belong to that place. And I would consider them as my mentors, because they were the people who always told me where I lacked and what I can't do in the end. Like. And so then I was like, let's see, like I listened to them, I worked hard, and I did what they what they imagined that I can't do. I did like like what even 99% of the teachers teenagers can't imagine in India, that that teenager can have that much of success when they're just in school, like they are 17 or 18. Like there I made a list of all the regions I need to cover. Like entrepreneurship was first of the things, because it's just like a future plan that you can do something in future too. And then it was like the studies, like I like in ninth and 10th, I was completely focused on stuff. So I wasn't able to study that much. And then I was like, people started saying me, yeah, you can do something. Like people consider it luck. And then it was like, yeah, you can't study too. So, I started studying, and, because of them, I was able to, like be the class topper in my 11th. And still I'm the same. I know, like my mentors would be the people, who always judged me, or who always hated me, because they were the people who always, always told me, what should I improve in. And I just kept listening and, doing it.
How much time did it take for you to build the product that you launched?
So, like, as I mentioned before, I started programming. It took me, like first 3 years, I was just learning programming, and, internet wasn't that, cheap in India at that time. Even it wasn't that accessible. We used to get, like if we pay, like couple of dollars, we used to get like 2.5 GB internet. And that internet was, always get finished when, once we boot up the laptop, it would start updating Windows. So that internet would be finished. So, my first 3 years was, the hardest part, because I need to, work hard to even get the internet. So, I used to work in a workshop where I fix laptops so I can get the internet. And, afterwards, programming started, and it took me, like a year to launch my first website. Then it was like 6 months to launch my first app. And then it was just like 3 months, like once I launched, Instaeasy. I was in eighth grade, and, I heard to a speech, and, that person says, work 1 hour a day in your life, and in next 5 years, you're going to be best in your country. And I was like, right now I'm in eighth, then I would be in 12th grade. Like before going to college, I would be the best in what I do in my country. So that's what I wanted to achieve. And I know, like, and it went to like it went as planned. Like, the 5 years. People, like I get pitched by a lot of teenagers every single day. The only thing they lack is, they don't know, like, it's gonna take a lot of time. Like it took me a year to, get my first sales from, Google, because, for an year I was just trying to rank on Google for that stuff. And but, that's the thing, they forgot it. They were just like, like we can do it. Like, there are a lot of, people like, do this, you're gonna get this much of success in this time. But, like in the end, people forget they are getting the success by selling that stuff in the end, like the courses and something they are selling. I know, like a lot of people are falling for it. And, patience is something, like people don't have in this, in the, like in 21st century. Like our attention span is just 8 seconds.
How much money was needed to build your first version?
As I told, I didn't had any investment before. I knew I had an idea. So, what, like what I was good at, I was good at approaching people. So I had Instagram. I just opened, I just searched PHP hashtag. Like I got, I saw the, Instagram of people who were developing PHP things. And I started DMing them. I was like, I had this idea, you know, which can change both of our life, and we can work into it. And, like I must have texted 30 to 40 people, but, one of them believed on me. He was a programmer from Italy, and we both started working together. And, that's how, like Instaeasy was up without any investment. But, like in first 2 to 3 months, like we didn't receive much of the sales. So even that, programmer was, was like, it won't work. So, like after 2 to 3 months, he left Instaeasy. He was like, you can handle it. Like, it was something that, like I worked for, a week or two. So, it doesn't matter that much that much to me. So, the production of Insta didn't took any investment in the start. It was just like, the investment, it would be like 200, it must be like $4 to $5 just for the hosting and the domain name. That's the only thing that it costed. Because, I didn't had any money to invest, but I still, like, and it feels good to, like when I, when I see my back, my past, that I started from zero. And, so I never had anything to lose. I knew it. So it was just like, working hard, learning. In the end, I would have learned something. Like, I made a lot of apps. Then I had experience on, what I can do to fail. I knew it. I knew that, it won't rank. It won't rank on Google for years. Like I won't be receiving, a lot of sales soon. So I knew, like, I need to be ready to fail. And, like it was like gradually, yeah, it can work. So, I was just waiting, working hard, you know.
How did you get those first users, customers to come aboard? What was that like?
Like how it worked was, like how it started was like, I knew a trick on how we can, like increase our followers. I knew how to do it. So I was like, I can help others to do it too. So it's the same process. It was just like me, finding people. I'm DMing thousands of people every single day. 10 of them reply, and one of them will buy the thing. That's how it started. In the start, I would like my starts. Like I sold my first 1,000 followers, I believe, for $4 to $5, or even less than that. Yeah, I first sold my 100 followers for, I believe, $0.6070. That was the first thing I did. And like like I was already DM a lot of people. If you even open my Instagram account now, yeah, like if we keep scrolling, the DMs won't ever end, because I texted that much of people, in that time. So it was like, I didn't had yeah, I didn't had money for advertisements. It was just like me, like DMing people in the end. And what that thing taught me was that how to look perfect in the eyes of the customers. Like my account needed to be that professional, that whenever I DM person, that person should trust on me. And talking to that much of people gave me that communication skill that I needed to in the end. To like it's hard to convince someone you didn't even know like 10 minutes before, to get buy stuff from you. So it took me a lot of months, but like sooner I was able to I knew, like I completely made a like roadmap on how the things work, like what I'm gonna say and what they can reply the max. So like soon I had that communication skill that I was able to get a lot of clients from DMing people. And till like still last year, like 2020, still I was getting a lot of people by DMing them only. So like in like when like as once you have passed a lot of months, like you will start noticing which people are going to buy, which are going to not buy. So like I was able to like I was able to find hashtag which I knew they're going to buy. So it was easier to DM people like randomly than DMing certain type of hashtag that I knew these people are going to buy for sure.
What is the next goal for you looking forward?
Goal of me would be like getting 1 million in sales. Yeah, before 21, that's something I want to do. Like first I want to do for 1 million in sales. Then I would like to nominate myself for Entrepreneur 35 under 35.
What is one time you experienced a real fail moment? Just, everything went wrong. Did you fix it? Were you able to? Did you learn from it? What happened?
The mistakes would be like ask for help as much as you can. Yeah, like few of the people would have a lot of experience than you do. They would have been stuff like you are already doing. Like it took me years because I didn't had any help from anyone. Like if someone talks to me now, I will be able to provide them the shortlisted things they may need to do to get the things I did in 4 years within a year. So like asking help would be the biggest thing we can do. Like once we get into entrepreneurship, we have that mindset, like no, like we alone can do everything that we want. And ask for help as much as learn from others, because in the end, like people are going to teach you a lot, because they've been into that process, like and that's the thing, everyone needs to learn that, find someone who's already been there where you want to be, learn from them. I believe success can be always be copied, and you can easily copy, like you can't, you can copy, like Elon Musk or something. You won't reach billions, but at least you would be able to, like make a good living out of it. And people like every single person wants to get make something which going to change thousands of people, like lives of thousands of people. Everyone wants to make a multi-billion dollar company. That's something like realistically they need to think about everything. They need to like work with people, they need to learn from people. And they need to understand before like you get into hundreds of million, you need to reach your first $100 too.
What are 3 traits that you look for in a co-founder, business partner type of person?
If I needed a business partner, the things I would look for is someone who can see light in in all dark. Someone who have a lot of hope in them. Like they believe like no matter what, we can achieve something. Like people like people fail like within a month or two. Like we like everyone gonna fail. Like sometime, and the point of like, and there are a lot of a lot less people who can get out of it. Like when some like like teenagers come to me with their ideas, I don't tell them how to do it. I'll tell them what problems you're gonna face. And after like listening to the problems, there are only few people who do it. And I feel good, and I feel good telling them the problems that you're going to face, because in like they know this is what you're going to face. And people who can do it after after listening to them also, they that are the people I'm looking for. And then I want someone who works really hard, no matter what, and someone who's always ready to learn. Like if if someone is programmer, it doesn't has to be that person should learn something about programming. It should be like someone who is always ready to learn whatever he gets from the world. That are the three traits I would look for.
Could you name one advantage and one disadvantage of being such a young entrepreneur?
Advantage would be, again, like if you do something which is not that big, but at least medium tier, which any adult can do, but still you are able to do it, teenager. That's the one advantage, that no, like you don't need to work that much of hard, but at least you achieve more than other teenagers now. Teenagers, then you would be able to get into that spotlight. And because of that spotlight, you're going to get a lot of chances and a lot of exposure to stuff you're going to help you in the future. So that's the thing. Starting young is like like people think like you have the potential in the start only, like you can do really big. And you don't need to do something big, but if you have started, people are going to see that potential, and it's going to help you a lot. That's one of the advantages. And that's the disadvantages again. Like if you're starting, people won't see that that the things in you. They won't believe in you. They won't believe you can do something big. That it works as in the start it would be a disadvantage, because no one will believe you. But after you did something, it would be an advantage for you to be to be someone young. Like these things always come in my life, that I'm still that young. Like last time uh, I was rejected. Like I applied for Instagram verification, and I was like rejected because I like because of my age, and I wasn't posting that much of pictures. And like when you are like when you're a teenager, you need to do a lot to to prove others that you can do something. But once you do, you're gonna get a lot of exposure. And like, and people will remember you a lot, because in the end it's just like like there I know a lot of people who did who still have who still have a lot of popularity because of something they did in their child like in their teenager life. Like people don't know what they are today, but what some something they did in their childhood made them something. Like even if you build a website and you have the perfect the PR team with you, they can make you famous just for building the website because of your age. So that's the thing. It just like people want to believe you. Afterwards people won't believe you in the start.
What is a tech tool that you just can't go without? Maybe an app or a website, something that you always use.
It would be like the simplest answer would be Google. No one can be without. That's the most powerful thing someone can have. Can find answer to anything. You will like it's just like you don't need to do anything. You can just like ask something to Google, and they're gonna give you how to do guide. Like to um, think see Google as their teacher. They just see that that thing as just Google search, like a search thing, wherever they can find like answers to things like normal activities they do. But they don't understand that thing can change their life, because like in history it wasn't like it wasn't that easy to do stuff as it is now, because we have all the information in our hands. And we can do we can do a lot. We don't even need to go to like a school or college to learn something. We can we can learn years of knowledge within few months. And Google and YouTube, like they taught me like specific things that I needed to learn. I didn't even need to take a whole Android coding course to learn how to program. I was just like how to make menu in Android, to do it it will teach me how to make a menu. I just picked up certain things, and I was able to make apps. That's how Google and YouTube is the best thing a human can have.
Which entrepreneurs inspire you the most these days? Who do you have your eye on?
It would be always be Gary Vee. Gary Vee, like his sound, he has something in his voice. Like in start when I used to work, I would always have his like video in the background. Listening to his voice, I was able to work.
Which trait of yours do you feel is your weakest and you need to outsource it somehow with a coworker or maybe a tech platform?
Just learn from Google and YouTube. But like now when I'm growing, like it was good before, to serve 10 to 100 clients. But when I need to, I'm like working with more people now. So I need people, for everything, it just, like I would, my weakest thing would be like, that I can't do everything on my own, right? I need someone to, like help me to, like it's just like if you want to change the world, we need to find someone to help us in the way too. Just like, the weakest thing, can be, like, it's just like, I need help from someone to, always, help me with, scaling up. And, sometimes it's a lot, depending on your age. Like, when you're a teenager, you have your high school, you have your social life too. And it's something, when you like, when your mind goes up and down because of your emotions too. And it's a lot harder to, keep your mind into it. And, like, hope and the motivation is something, which I always got from the people. Yeah, like, I would see, like I would see my friends, they would always give me hope, and they would always go, like, give me motivation. Even my parents, like, like, I believe, like, hope and motivation, like, they help me a lot. And it's something which I never got it from myself. It was, always saying my situations around me, and people around me. There, I still, I I I want to change everything. I want to change my life, for my family only. Like, they always give me motivation.
How important do you feel it is for young entrepreneurs to think about social change when creating a business?
So, like, our like I would say, life is not about, solving, problems every single time. Then what would be the, what would be the meaning of, meaning of a life? So, I would suggest everyone, do, what you love, something which gonna, wake up you in the morning and you make you work till the night. So, like, it's not about, like, the social change, because, entrepreneurship is something which gonna change the world somehow. Like, no matter what you do, you're gonna provide, employment to people. Like, somehow you're gonna benefit the society. Just, like, do something you love, especially in this age when you don't have anything to lose. If you love something, it's gonna keep you, working no matter what. And in the end, you're gonna ultimately, change the world. Like, there are a lot of people, like, until you don't have that much money, you can't, once you build a business, no matter what industry you picked up. But, once you have that much of resources, you can really, help people in the end. So I won't say, like, you should start a business, always, to change the world. Because all the teenager I saw, they're mostly focused on building something which gonna socially change the people. They feel like, like it's just like, there's American dream and there is the internet dream, that everyone can, write a, make a website or app, and it's going to change the life of thousands of people. Whatever you love, not something which is going to change the world. Because, once you can help others. Yeah, surely, change will always come. And it's, your life would be more, happier once you, like when you have a startup that you always wanted to, like, what you love. And it gonna be work out, like, more, like, yeah, like, something which you wanted to do because of, social change. Like, then you won't be, that confident in your ideas too, like, especially as a teenager, you need to, like, when it's something which is about social impact, you need to, like, go to a lot of investors, you need to talk to a lot of people, get that app or website to that much of level that you can really now impact the, like, the people around you. Like, like, become something. Because, like, at least, you're going to change the life of your family after all, and family and your people around you.
If you could have any superpower in the world, what would you pick?
So, superpower, I won't pick anything, which gives me a, advantage on, others. So, the only superpower I always wanted was that my body shouldn't need sleep. Like right now, I also, like, I used to work, like, last 3 to 4 years, I used to work a lot late in the night. I used to sleep, 1 to 2 hours a day. But in the end, it's gonna impact your health. It did to me also. I faced a lot of health issues too. And, like, once I have a superpower that I don't need sleep, even if others have it, like, if, like, every single day people have the choice to sleep or not. And the only the he- once you are, good at everything, only the health can stop you.
Yeah.
you know Like if you're not happy and you have $1 billion in my if you're not healthy and you have billions of dollars in a bank account, it won't help you in the end, because you won't be able to enjoy that much of like the luxury in your life. So I would suggest like I learned it later in my life that I need to find a balance between the work and my health too. Like once you are that much you're healthy, you can work even more. So
That's true.
like that's something I learned, yeah, late in my life. After I had 3 to 4 issues, health issues, then afterwards I learned that, yeah, like thanks a lot for inviting me though.